Hi guys! Since we filmed this video, we have actually gotten a sponsor. I wanted to tell you guys about him. I had to add this bit on because we obviously didn't have him at the time that we recorded it. So anyway, Tyler of D20 Inspiration is making these really awesome D&D themed scented candles and soaps. And I've got one of my favorite things here. He makes this D20 shaped pillar candle. This thing is awesome! This particular one is in the wizard scent. It smells really good. And then like for all the different scents, he gives you like a little card with fluff on it, which I just think is awesome. Like, so for the wizard one here, you spent the last decade locked inside of a tower library. And that's all you're gonna get. You're gonna have to buy the candle to get the rest of the fluff. Anyway, so I think that's really cool. And then he makes these bases for the pillar candles. So it's like a tile, and then he put a page from a D&D handbook, a player's handbook, on here. And so it just looks really cool, and it smells really great. And like what I really like about these candles is like they smell nice, but they're not overpowering. It's like, you know how you light a candle sometimes and you can only have it burning for a couple minutes because then you're like, ugh, like you think it's just like all the way up inside your head and you can't smell anything else and it's terrible. But his are not like that. His are really awesome. You can burn them for a long time. They smell really good. But yeah, so he makes these like these pillar candles. He makes really big jar candles and then like smaller jar candles. You can get the smaller ones in like a sort of sampler set so you can smell all the different smells. It's really great. But yes, we wanted to let you guys know about him because he is really great and he's helping to support us now. So please go check out his D20 Inspiration shop on Etsy. We will put the contact link in the information below. And so thanks, Tyler, and on with the show. Bye! Nope, that's not right. Okay, what did we want to do first? Like, what's your first?
Let's do role-playing with strategy, character creation and selection.
Okay. And so, thusly we begin. Hello, and welcome to Geek Starter Levels! So, I'm Jocelyn, of course, and this is my wonderful DM, Chad, and he's here to talk about D&D. Like, all the things that I feel much more confident having him explain because he knows what he's talking about. And so we're gonna have a series of these episodes, and we're gonna start out with, give it to us again, Chad.
We're gonna start out with role-playing with strategy, character selection, picking out that first important character you want to play in D&D.
Yeah, what he said. So I'm basically gonna be listening along with you guys. I started in D&D, and he was like wonderful and very understanding, and because I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm gonna stop talking. Take it away, Chad.
Alright. D&D, obviously, acronym for Dungeons and Dragons. And most of you are familiar with role-playing games at this point in life. Whether it's from playing Skyrim as a kid or college student, or playing any role-playing games as far as tabletop, most everyone is familiar with the subject of role-playing games. In D&D, we want to talk about the choosing of your first character in D&D.
It's important.
It very much is. You do get attached to that first character, and whether they live on to the maximum level in D&D of level 20, or they're killed at a level 1. Everybody's choice of their first character is usually sometimes a reflection of themselves, and sometimes it's just something they thought would be cool.
He hasn't killed mine yet, but, you know, there's still time.
There is still time. So one of the things I wanted to discuss with picking out that first character is D&D and most role-playing games are very role-play driven. So you want to pick out a character that you would be able to actually role-play as. And that doesn't mean if you don't believe yourself to be a PhD, you can't play a character that has a PhD. You just have to recognize and acknowledge that there will be challenges in playing any character. I will take my character example. When I do get the chance to play, I often DM, usually 3 times a week sometimes.
So much.
I get to play a wizard. A wizard is the exact antithesis of what I play as. Or as I am in real life, I should say. The wizard is very smart, highly intelligent, and well-read.
How you play the game of life.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I interjected wrongly. Carry on.
I don't consider myself to be a hyper-intelligent being like my wizard is. but I acknowledge that, and I make workarounds for that. I have usually a larger vocabulary that this character would use. And so, we're going to talk about what drives your first character, why your character is in the game. And most DMs will have what's called a Session 0. And that's where you're going to meet together as a party, players and DM, and discuss what you want to play, what the campaign setting will entail, and if that character that you want to play as fits. So, let's say we want to play a game of D&D, and I want to play a Ninja Turtle. Does a Ninja Turtle fit in this campaign? And how would I play a Ninja Turtle in the world of D&D? So,
I really like Session Zeros. I mean, I find them to be a lot of fun. Like, part of what I thought was intimidating about D&D was that you had to devote, like, so much time. But if you're there, like, with your DM and your fellow teammates, I guess, like, you have time to develop rapport, I suppose.
absolutely.
And I also like that if you have a good DM like Chad, they will work with you. Like, if you come to them with something, well, it's not ridiculous, but out of left field, I want to be a Ninja Turtle, Chad will make it happen.
Absolutely.
He has made it happen, actually.
Right, and so, some of that entails, is there something that exists in the D world that I could play as that would reflect Ninja Turtle? Up until this past year, that answer has been no. There's not been a turtle race you could play as. So you would settle for something similar. You could play a lizard person. And that would be as close as you could get. At least as far as standard character written rules have gone. So, we'll go with something people most commonly play. When people think of high fantasy, they think of Lord of the Rings. And one of the more common things we see in Lord of the Rings is a Legolas type character. We're talking about the elven archer. And so you've got this grand idea, you want to be Legolas, whether it's the male version or female version of Legolas, the arrow-flinging elf running along the walls is your ideal character. Mm-hmm. So, how do you make that happen? What is it you need to choose? What class? Which race? D&D does have elves. That's something you can definitely choose. And all the options are found in your player's handbook.
Ooh, I got one.
As do I.
I was going to say, you never go anywhere without it.
They're handy little things. If you don't have one and you're interested in D&D,
but
play
I
a session.
But I felt all prepared as a host because I had one.
Yeah. She is a very prepared host.
Carry on, sorry.
Oh, you're good. So yes, you want to build Legolas, and that's great. How would you roleplay Legolas? How does he feel about the bad guys? How does he feel about children? Or how does he feel about the random barkeeper?
The random barkeeper.
These are questions you often don't see Legolas in the movies portray. Yes, you see how he acts against the greater evil, but how does he act with his comrades? We see a little bit of his interaction with the dwarf and several of his other comrades, but as far as the average citizen, something you'll be dealing with a lot in role-playing games, what is his persona? How would you play that? How do you take Legolas and make Legolas your own character? And are you building straight Legolas, or are you building an elf that shoots like him? What's his backstory? What's his family life? Why is he joining up with these group of adventurers? A lot of times what we see in D&D is people want to play a lone character. The lone wolf that can never be bothered with other people's problems. And that's great and all. But at the end of the day, D&D is a group of characters. It's a party.
It's going to be a lonely campaign with your lone wolf.
It really is, and it's going to create party dynamics. So if you've come in with a character that doesn't fit the party, you've also got to come in with things that will happen to my character that will allow him to become more immersed with this party, to become, a true team member at some point or another. You don't have to start that way, but you do have to come in with a mindset that you will need to get that way. Mm-hmm. Each one of those is a challenge that you as a player will have to figure out. How will this player's character that I've made eventually become to what I want him to be? So,
check mark.
Yeah, at the end of the day, simple tips for picking a character. Pick something that you think you can roleplay. Develop a solid backstory. And a solid backstory is not 1 or 2 sentences. It's not 5 pages either. So pick something that's maybe a few paragraphs you could flesh out your character and really get an idea of this is who this character is. And you can build off of that as the campaign grows and as your character's put in scenarios that you never thought he may have been put in. For us, that's fighting vampires quite often.
In the campaign that I'm in, Chad, like, my character was literally walking down a garden path, and then it was misty, and then I was in a terrible, terrible place. And there's vampires everywhere. And my character hates it so much. So much.
Absolutely.
She's starting to have a little bit of mental issues.
And if you're going to play a character, kind of also pick out, are you going to do a voice for your character? Does your character's voice sound like yours? If so, great. If you need a cadence to your voice because you're playing this great big barbarian, do something that you could do with ease and you're not out of voice in 30 minutes by straining yourself.
And that helps, like, as another player, it helps, like, your party also remember what your character is. Like, a giant barbarian or, like, a little gnome cleric or whatever. If you pick up, like, 1 or 2 mannerisms, it is a lot. I mean, I feel like it adds to the fun of the thing, too. And it just kind of helps everybody remember what's going on. And it also helps sort out, like, you from your character, which sounds kind of weird, but, like, I know when I first started playing, it was, like, there was a lot more of myself in the character. Like, this is how I would do it. And then I kind of had that realization that it doesn't have to be how you would do it. It's how you feel like your character would act. So it is nice to have kind of a distinction.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, you can't think of a character that's really different than yourself. Build as close to yourself as you can.
He's okay.
Yeah. For me, my first character was a hack and slash character. It's how I felt like you should deal with problems. Just go in and start swinging swords. Mm-hmm. He was very much an outgoing, highly charismatic character and relied a lot on changing people's minds and just talking it through. Now I play much different characters than myself. But if at the end of the day you would say, I want to build a character that would be me as a raging barbarian, do so. It would be much easier to roleplay that way. At the end of the day, your first role-playing character should be something that's easy for you to roleplay. Something that you would be excited about roleplaying. Something that you look forward to your D&D nights to, not just to get to battle things, but to get to be this character. Mm-hmm. So that is my biggest tip I can give for first-time role-playing. Pick something you're excited about.
Yay! So, I'm not going to be cutting you off or anything, am I? Does that feel good? Cool! No. So I think we have come to the end of this particular episode, and we're looking forward to our next installment. Chad will be back, and we're going to talk some more about other aspects of D&D. But in the meantime, if you liked us, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell so that you don't miss when we do stuff. Also, if you would like to support us, please check out our Patreon, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye!